We should remember from the creation story that in the beginning God creates people, and in that story God can talk to people and people can talk to God pretty directly. So when we see Adam and Eve in the creation story, Adam and Eve speak directly to God and God speaks directly back to them. Now God gives them instructions not to eat from a particular tree. He says they can do whatever they want, but they're not allowed to eat from a particular tree. When they do that, they commit what Christians call original sin. And this is a sin carried by every single person after Adam and Eve. So everybody pays for the sins that they've committed. This sin creates a gap between people and God. God can no longer talk to people, and people can no longer talk to God in the same way that he was able to originally. So the relationship with God is broken that people are originally created with. This also leads to the idea of man being able to die. Before this, there is no mention of death, but after this, in the Bible it says, "You are dust, and to dust you shall return." So man has lost his immortality, his inability to die, through the fact that he's committed the original sin. In the past, Jewish people thought that they could build a temporary bridge between themselves and God, repairing that gap. And the way that they would do that is through sacrifice. That would mean that they would give up something important to them, like a lamb or a goat, and offer it to God in order to make up for the sins that they committed. Of course, the problem with this is that as soon as you commit another sin, which we do all the time, that sacrifice is defunct and you break that relationship with God again. Christians believe that God doesn't want people to do this any longer. They believe that instead of people making the sacrifice, God makes the sacrifice. So, God sacrifices his own son, or a part of himself, in order to make up for the sins of all people. Because Jesus is completely sinless when he dies, his death becomes a perfect sacrifice to atone for the sins of the whole world. They make up for the fact that people commit sins, and all that Christians believe that they have to do is believe that Jesus is the Son of God and accept the fact that he died for their sins. This bridges the gap, so improves the relationship between Christians and God, and means that Christians can once again receive eternal life from God.